Coming up, 8 Kazakh trucks still remain in Ukraine. 49 trucks have already left the territory of this country. Find out more about the situation with domestic freight cars from our news digest. Transition into e-format. In the next 2 years, the country plans to complete the digitalization of agricultural land. What will the digital transformation of the agro-industrial complex give? Learn more tonight. Mukagali travels around the world. The domestic film about the life of the legendary Kazakh poet will be shown at the International Film Festival in India. 49 out of 57 Kazakh trucks left Ukraine. Thus, at the moment, 8 domestic trucks remain in the country, the press service of the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development reports. In addition, there are currently about 1,457 Kazakh-owned freight cars on the territory of Ukraine. Work on their redirection continues, the relevant department said. Negotiations are currently underway with interested parties for rapid response to these issues. In addition, the ministry, Kazakhstan National Railway Operator, and the country's ports have launched their hotlines. Kazakhstan is the largest trading partner of the EU in Central Asia. The volume of mutual trade in 2021 increased by a third compared to the previous year. The European Union, in turn, remains the largest investment and trade partner of Kazakhstan. Timo Hammerman, deputy head of Unit for Middle East, Turkey, Russia and Central Asia at the European Commission's Directorate General for Trade, said this in Brussels following the results of the 5th meeting of the EU-Kazakhstan Cooperation Council in the trade configuration. According to him, the parties discussed ways to implement the trade section of the Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement. The delegations exchanged views on expanding the export list of Kazakh-made goods to the EU, as well as facilitating transit trade in the current political situation in the region.
Issues like technical barriers to trade, phytosanitary standards, and how to facilitate for businesses to trade and to not so that these do not become obstacles to trade. We discussed issues like labeling, many other technical issues, but also bigger picture issues such as connectivity in the region, regional trade, how to facilitate that. There's a lot of transit trade going on. There's also the multilateral aspect that we discussed, our cooperation in the World Trade Organization. Kazakhstan has a very important leading role actually this year, and Kazakhstan is about to host the next WTO ministerial meeting. And of course, in that respect, we discussed how we can prepare that well and in which areas we can cooperate also in the WTO context.
Political and economic reforms in Kazakhstan and the importance of further development of an expanded strategic partnership between the country and the United States were discussed at the platform of the Atlantic Council, one of the leading U.S. analytical centers. A panel discussion, 30 Years of U.S.-Kazakhstan Relations, the Winter Crisis and Path Forward, was held there. The participants noted Kazakhstan's significant contribution to global stability and security. The Kazakh ambassador spoke about the initiatives of President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev aimed at building a new Kazakhstan and the government's measures to eliminate the root causes of the January events. The event attendants commended the reforms in Kazakhstan. Experts stressed the importance of further development of the strategic partnership between the two countries.
Put a base there, although, well, we're not going to put a base there. But we know that the Central Asia...
The digitalization of farmland in Kazakhstan will be accelerated. Kazakh Vice Minister of Agriculture Baglan Begbaov stated in the Senate. 39% of the land has now been digitized. As a result of joint work with the Kazakhstan Garish Sapara National Company, the remaining 61% will be completely converted to electronic format within 2 years, instead of the planned 5 years. More than 8 million hectares of unused land were identified with the help of space monitoring, of which 2.5 million pastures were returned to state ownership.
Мемлекет басшысы Қасым-Жомарт Кемелұлы Тоқаевтың халық бірлігі және жүйелі реформалар.
President Kassam-Jomart Tokayev, in his State of the Nation address, raised the topic of digitalization, space monitoring, and remote sensing of the agro-industrial complex. The main task of digitalization of agriculture is to reduce the cost of production, improve its quality, and prevent corruption. In this regard, it is necessary to achieve significant economic efficiency through the use of global experience in the introduction of digital technologies. Undoubtedly, new technologies will have a positive impact on the agricultural sector and open up new opportunities. It is important to increase the country's income through the digitalization of the agro-industrial complex, which is the basis of the economy.
Жаңа мүмкіндіктер ашатыны сөзсіз. Экономиканың тірегі саналатын агроөнеркәсіп кешенін цифрландыру арқылы ел табысын еселей түсу маңызды міндет.
Kazakhstan sees a slight increase in coronavirus cases, detecting 119 infected people in the past 24 hours. The city of Almaty registered the highest number of 33 patients, followed by North Kazakhstan region with 19 and Kostanay region with 11. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country has exceeded 1,304,000. According to the latest data of Kazakh Health Ministry, about 12,000 residents currently receive treatment. 1,124 out of them are in hospitals. The number of Kazakh citizens fully vaccinated with two components surpassed 9,052,000. 2,906,000 people in the country received a booster dose. The World Health Organization has confirmed the detection of the Delta Crohn COVID variant in Europe. The strain was discovered in early January by a group of scientists from Cyprus. WHO COVID-19 technical lead Dr. Maria van Kerkhove noted that the new hybrid variant arose from the combination of Delta and Omicron. The WHO admitted that this may have been the result of an error, namely contamination of the sample during sequencing. Delta Crohn has already been found in France, the Netherlands, and Denmark. Thailand plans to declare COVID-19 endemic disease. According to the country's foreign ministry, this may happen in July this year. The ministry noted that there will be 4 stages of coronavirus transition to endemic disease. The country is currently in the first phase, which will last from March to April. The second stage, which is about reaching the plateau, will last from April to May. The third phase, during which a reduction of the number of people infected with COVID-19 is planned, will last from the end of May to June. And the final post-pandemic phase will begin on July 1st. The Thai Health Ministry notes that the virus will be considered endemic if there is less than 1 death per 1,000 patients. A sewing workshop located in the capital has been operating for more than 2 years. Seamstresses here make clothing, medical gowns, masks, dowry for brides, bed sets painted with national patterns, and other unique items. All shop personnel are mothers with many children, just like the workshop's owner, Alida Utarbaeva. The Altın Alqa pendant holder brings up 9 kids with her husband. Despite this, the woman spends most of the time here, growing her business and helping other women to master sewing skills. The businesswoman managed to launch a small enterprise after training under the Business Басты program.
Сейчас у меня работы много, сейчас в данный момент супруг сидит с ребенком, пока вот старшие дети со школы приедут, он идет после обеда.
I've got a lot of work. At the moment, my husband stays at home watching our baby until the older children arrive from school. He goes to work in the afternoon. That's how we work. I completed the training, won a grant of 200 MCI, which is 612,000 tenge, and bought sewing machines. And then I thought, let's do this, and submitted for 5 million grant, free of charge. I won it, bought a sewing frame, machines, a cotton carding machine.
Купила машинки, купила еще, я сэкономила, купила ваточесальный станок.
Alida Utarbaeva plans to scale up her production soon, because this way she will be able to help other mothers with large families to master new skills and learn how to build their business.
Мы для своих детей должны делать, создавать все сами. И уют, и обеспечивать, пока наши дети не станут на ноги. Я сама с многодетной семьи.
We must do everything for our children, provide them with comfort, everything they need until they get on their feet. I myself am from a large family. There are 7 of us. When I was 1 year old, my father died. Despite this, my mother went to work. Now she is 80 years old. She worked as an accountant all her life and did not seek anything from the state. Women must be universal. God created us for this. There is no such thing that someone owes someone else. I do not like this.
Бог создал для этого. Такого нету, что кто-то кому-то обязан, я сама такое вот не люблю.
Marina Yelzhasova is one of the workshop's employees. She said that she began sewing recently, and now a simple hobby has become a favorite and profitable business.
Самый младший ребенок родился, после 1 года я поняла, что...
1 year after my youngest child was born, I realized that I could no longer work in my profession as a civil engineer. From that moment, I got involved in sewing, bought a small machine, and started doing the sewing business. If a woman is engaged in her business, if she finds herself in something, then she will not need anything from the state.
Если находит себя в чем-то, тогда от государства ни о чем не будет нуждаться.
Alida Otarbayeva admits that special training in entrepreneurial activity, hard work, and the desire to succeed by herself have become guide to a happy life for her. Now the workshop, where skillful hands of mothers with many children create the most beautiful items, receives orders not only from different parts of the capital, but also from the neighboring cities. An ancient arba was found in the Aras River in Turkistan region. How much time it spent in the water, historians have yet to find out, but it is known that it was used about 100 years ago. The staff of the local history museum believes that the cart is of historical value. According to them, despite the fact that its 2 wheels were lost, the wood and metal itself remained in satisfactory condition. The artifact is now in restoration. In the near future, we plan to consult with qualified specialists and restorers of the Otrar Museum. We have already sent them a letter. We're hoping to work on restoring the cart. In addition, ancient jugs and various utensils were previously found in the same area. All archaeological artifacts are presented in the local mosque museum, Ishan Bazar.
Works of art made of sheep wool. In one of the villages of the Mangistau region, there is a club where paintings are created using felt. The technique of wool watercolor painting is taught by teacher Shunar Alieva. She revives the ancient traditions of applied crafts that have remained unchanged for centuries.
Қазір менің жасап жатқан жұмысым осы кесеғап.
I am currently making a kisekap. There is just a little more work to be done until the item is ready. Our ancestor used it during nomadic migrations. This case was intended for bowls. It was used to keep the dishes from breaking. I hope to finish it in 2 or 3 days. After that, I am going to begin working on other things.
Қазақтың осы ыдыстарына басқа да жасаймын.
According to the handicrafts teacher, there are now 15 schoolgirls attending the club. Teenagers have already created more than 25 paintings in several genres of fine art. But it takes a long time for a single painting to be born, because a picture needs to be laid out, layer by layer, using thousands of colorful threads. Thanks to this, volumetric effects and shadows are created, which is difficult to achieve using paints.
Неге осы жүннен басқаша бір басып бұларды өтпесек те құрғақ жүн басуда неге бір ерекше бір
I asked myself, why not making something new out of sheep's wool? And I went with the wool watercolor painting. This special technique is now forgotten. No one in our region uses it. My students like it a lot. They create still lifes, floral landscapes. The most popular genre in our works is sea-themed, as our region is located on the Caspian coast.
Көптеген жаңағы ми дамитын, сондықтан жұмыс жасау арқылы дамытушылығы ары қарай беки берсін деп.
The feature film Mukagali, directed by Kazakh director Bulat Kalimbetov, will be screened in the World Cinema category at the 26th International Film Festival in India. It will be held in the traditional format in the state of Kerala from March 18th to 25th, the press service of the Kazakh Film Studio reported. The film Mukagali tells about the last years of life of the legendary Kazakh poet. Its world premiere took place as part of the 25th Tallinn Black Nights Film Festival, where the movie was awarded a special jury prize. The biographical drama was released in domestic domestic market in October of 2021 and immediately won the attention of viewers. The program of the festival will feature films that became winners at the Berlin and Cannes forums, as well as laureates of other prestigious international awards. A total of 180 films from all over the world will be screened.